Right, hello, and welcome to Seine Yaps. I think I'm going to yap on here occasionally. Thank you to anyone that followed me over from the other channel. I announced this the other day, and I don't know what it's going to be when this video drops, but we're at 500 subs right now, which is pretty crazy. If you don't know me, my name is Seine, by the way. I'm sure there's going to be a handful of people that don't know who I am, who get this recommended to them. I thought for the first video here, I'd love to just talk about why does it feel so hard to grow on YouTube nowadays? It's something that I'm very, very passionate about, because I've been making content for around 2 years now, and if you don't know who I am, I make Dead by Daylight videos on a few channels, mainly a channel called More Sign right now, which I do some killer videos on Dead by Daylight. And over the past 6 months, I've had a huge surge in my content where my audience has grown like exponentially out of nowhere. Since I have been doing this for so long, and it only just happened, I kind of wanted to make some key points that maybe some people that were my size back then are struggling with, because I was definitely having a hard time when I first started making videos. And pretty much I just want to cover why does it feel hard to grow nowadays, and what do I think smaller YouTubers are doing wrong that they could change to see a bit of growth. So first of all, I have had a base audience for a while, which I've always appreciated what I've had, but in the past 6 months, my channel has literally just exploded out of nowhere. So it took about 1.5 years for me to blow up. And there's a few things that I think I have started doing that have made that a possibility. So I do get asked that question a lot as well. How to grow on YouTube, how do I make my thumbnails, that sort of thing in my comments and DMs. And although I do gaming content, I think this does apply to other sorts of content as well. So the first thing that I think affects content creation is, especially nowadays, oversaturation is absolutely crazy. I'm sure if you watch any YouTube, there are thousands, millions of creators, especially for Dead by Daylight. It is one of the most oversaturated video games for content creators on the planet. And when there are so many people doing the exact same thing, it is really difficult to make that little breakthrough and start getting views. You know, it kind of happened to me out of nowhere, and I thought it never would because of how many people are around. But leading me on to what I was going to say next, consistency pushed me over that boundary of being, you know, sort of under. I think I was getting around 10k views a video, and before that I was doing like 1k last year, you know. But that consistency, my main channel, I did a video every 7 days for about 1.5 years while I was at uni, and this More Sign channel that I have uploaded every 3 to 4 days for about 6 months now, and I haven't missed a single video, which I know is hard because people have other things to do, and I'm a prime example. I had a lot of stuff to do at uni, I had a lot of essays to write, but I still made that time, because when you're hungry to be successful on YouTube, you make sure it happens, and consistency is the first step to that sort of thing. If you feel that's you, and you feel like you're not growing, but you only upload 1 video a month, or maybe you upload 2 videos a week, and then you upload 1 video the week afterwards, that consistency and getting your audience into a schedule is really important. I'm at the point where my audience is waiting for a video every 3 days, or every 4 days, and there are comments instantly as soon as the video goes out because they are waiting for that video to come out. But apart from consistency, something that I have tried to do for a while, but you have to fight your ego for it. One of the biggest things that stopped me from blowing up was being willing to learn. I think the problem with a lot of smaller content creators, and I don't want to sound like a prick by saying this, I'm just being as real as possible, and I'm sure some people don't hear it. I feel like a lot of smaller content creators are not willing to learn. As soon as I told myself when I was at around 1,000, 2,000 subscribers that my content simply just isn't as good as anyone else's, I started learning software, I started getting better at Dead by Daylight, so my gameplay was more entertaining to watch, so I was better at the game. I started working on my commentary, working on my speech, making sure my vocabulary's good. Being well-spoken is quite important too. Just evolving as a person and getting better at all these little things will slowly add up, and you'll start to see success. Because YouTube thrives on quality. You have to keep in mind that YouTube nowadays is very different to how it was back in the day. It's way more oversaturated, as I said, and watch time is very important. YouTube will definitely push your video if they can see that it's being watched, because they know that that's going to make them money. So if you make high quality videos that are interesting ideas, and they're paced correctly so your viewers don't get bored like 2 minutes into the video, that video is going to get pushed. Sometimes you just have to be told that your content is not as good as other people's. I don't think my content is perfect by now, by all means, But I took that year, as soon as I finished university, to take that year out and just learn. Especially with software like Premiere Pro, After Effects, Photoshop, Blender, there is no skill ceiling. You can just keep learning and learning and learning, and that the worst way to think about that is thinking that you've mastered it, because trust me, creative software, you never master. There is always something new you can learn or do that is going to boost your content in some ways. For example, I want to learn After Effects more in depth for this year, so my content levels up visually a little bit more, because you can do a lot more cool things with After Effects. You know, my intros could be a lot cooler if I had that 3D experience. There are just lots of things that if you're willing to learn, you're going to slowly improve, and YouTube's going to pick up on that. And they did for me. And it took me a while, but that's what I'm saying. You need to put these two things together, consistency and willing to learn, put them into one, and that's when you start to see results. Get better, work harder than everyone else, and make sure that oversaturation doesn't affect you. Be different. Make people want to watch you over other people. And I'm sure by now you guys have probably realized why I made a Yap channel. I'm pretty passionate about this sort of thing, and because I have a pretty decent understanding of it, I'd say. I wrote a pretty long essay about it while I was at uni. But I feel like some people need to be told that you need to switch up and be willing to learn and try new things with content creation. If something works, don't just keep doing it over and over again. I know that's very hypocritical of me to say, because of the, if you watch my channel, I've done about 15 despised videos so far. But I do other things in the middle. You have to take those risks and do things that maybe other people haven't done, or maybe take things that people have done and make them more interesting. It's about how you display a video in the first 30 seconds of the intro, make sure it's entertaining, make sure the thumbnail's perfect, make sure the title is something that people are going to read and be like, what? How do I do that? Or this is something that I want to see be done. One thing I realized very early too, which changed the way I saw content creation, the oversaturation of places like the Dead by Daylight content creation scene. It's very important to just know that everyone is doing the same thing. At the end of the day, no matter how cool everyone's content is, everyone is playing Dead by Daylight, and that is all they're doing. And everyone is playing Marvel Rivals and playing GTA and Roblox. They're all doing the same thing. So you need to think, as a content creator, what can you do that's slightly different? Or how can you make an idea that's been done already look interesting to a viewer? Because there are so many content creators that are just posting like maybe YouTube shorts of them just playing the game and getting a clip that, to be honest, has probably been done 500 million times by other people in the past. There are so many content creators right now that I look up to so much because they are so creative, and the way that they do things is just so cool. And I do honestly think that the most important thing is being different. So this is my main channel, pretty much. Well, it says more sign, but this is the one I upload on the most out of any of them right now. And see, if I like scroll down here, I kind of want to make an example. So if I scroll all the way down to maybe 6 months ago, this was where I sort of started seeing some traction, right? If I go all the way down, the first thing you notice instantly is the thumbnail quality and the titles just being less interesting. And also tying back into the thing I said where everyone's doing the same thing. This is around the time where I started to realize that, like, what's the point of me doing this? Why am I making videos on 18 minutes of smooth looping in Dead by Daylight when everyone is doing that already? And even if you don't play Dead by Daylight or know about the game, I'm just sort of using it as an example because it's my main game for content. And I just think it's so important to realize that your content's not as good as other people's. And as soon as you take that step to sit down and really think in depth about your ideas. Here was when I was sort of milking the Springtrap release. You can't blame me really, but here I started to sit down and what can I do that's different and is gonna take off? This video here specifically too, I made the exit gates completely unopenable. It's something that even if you don't play the game, you read the title and you go, how has he done that? He made the exit gates unopenable in a game where opening the exit gates is the way to win. So people are going to read that title and be like, what the hell? How has he done that? And I think that's one of the reasons that one has done so well. And I love taking this time to sit back and just analyze and think about which videos did well and why did they do well. If you search my main channel too, this one's a little bit older content because I don't post on this one too much, but it's the same sort of thing. I sort of made a little breakthrough back here with making Survivor gameplay footage on DVD, but here was where I graduated uni with this video. It's a documentary, but here's where I started adding mystery to my title. Like, this is a very mysterious title. For even someone who doesn't know too much about Dead by Daylight, that's a very mysterious title. And that is something that's very clickable. And although I am yapping here, the channel name is Seine Yaps, I'm trying to make whoever's watching this realize that it doesn't come instantly. You need that time. I've been uploading for ages. You need the time to grow as a content creator and realize what you're doing wrong and what you could be doing right. You need 2 years experience to understand that. No one comes onto the scene and just blows up instantly, and if they do, it's very well deserved, either because they're funny or something, you know. But I needed that 2 years to understand, why is my stuff doing shit? You know what I mean? Why is this doing shit, and what can I do to make it better? And here's another breakthrough. Here on this main channel, I went from, what, 3,000 views from doing compilations, which everyone was doing at the time. I'm doing the exact same thing as everyone else and seeing no success, to making videos here where you see the growth instantly. I'm starting to think more about my ideas of the video and not just make compilation, we bullied a killer, we played old DBD. It's just slop, you know what I mean? And here is where I really started to sit down before recording a video and go, what am I going to do here? How am I going to make this interesting? And, you know, the more we go up, the thumbnails evolve because I've given myself more time to learn Blender and Photoshop. And as we get here, I think this is some of my best work. And, you know, going to the second channel, it just gets better and better. And the views speak for themselves, you know? And that's only because I've stayed consistent for 2 years. I've given my life to this for 2 years, learnt it inside out, and just studied other content creators and figured out, how can I be as good as these people? And how can I make content that stands out? And I still have a ways to go. I still have lots of things that I want to do. And, you know, eventually I do want to move out of making DVD content because I think there's so much more potential. I thought the first video on this channel would be something relevant to my channel, something that the people that followed me over to this channel can sit down and watch, and maybe it relates to you. Maybe you're trying to grow on YouTube and you needed someone to just tell you, not exactly how, but why you aren't growing, you know? And that's more important. Knowing the reasons why, that way you can eliminate those reasons and you can start to push your channel with just knowledge. Learning things slowly just makes you better at what you're trying to do. And it's so important. Those 3 key things: eliminating that oversaturation of the market you're trying to approach, the game, or whatever content you're doing. Eliminate that oversaturation and be unique. Consistency. Give yourself those years to really learn what you're trying to do and figure out why other people are successful and how you can be successful. And you have to be willing to learn software, learn the game you're playing, or learn what you're doing, get better at commentating, get better at what you need to get better at. And as soon as all those things are nailed, you'll start to see some success. And again, I know the main thing that holds people back from content creation is being busy in your actual life. And I know some people have it worse than others in that aspect. But trust me, if you can find time and it's what you want to do with yourself, you will make sure it happens. Through uni, I think I started making content halfway through my second year of my 3-year course. And I had a job during it. I also was completely locked in full-time student, and at the same time uploading once a week and streaming on Twitch. I wouldn't stream on Twitch now, just because I think it's a waste of time, personally, but, you know, it depends on what you enjoy. But moral of the story is, if you want it, you'll get it. Some people don't have that push, and I know that. But if you want it, you'll sit down. I hope I've helped today. I really do, because I've tried my best to push knowledge that I wish I had when I was a smaller creator onto people that maybe are in that similar boat, you know? And it's not me trying to be a dick and telling you your content's bad. I'm just being real. Everyone pushing each other and saying everyone's videos are great is good, but sometimes you just need to be told the truth. And I've lived that way my entire life. My dad has pretty much just told me, if it's shit, it's fucking shit. And he's not gonna butter it up. He will just tell me that it's wank. And that's why I took that step to just learn software and make sure that my content's good and is going to get pushed, instead of complaining. Don't waste your time complaining. Push at it and it'll happen. Trust me. But yeah, there's the Yap Fest for today. If you guys want to see face cam for the next video, I don't really know what you guys want to see here, but I don't know, I was thinking it's a bit yappy, so I might whack my face cam on for the next video, and yeah, I mean, let me know if you enjoy the yaps. I'm probably gonna upload some DBD related like tier lists and stuff on here, and just stuff that interests me. I wanna yap a little bit, and I want this channels to be approachable for people that don't necessarily enjoy DBD. Maybe just, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. But that's the first video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helped you, because I would love to just ingrain my knowledge and my time that I've spent learning YouTube into someone that just started, that was like me 2 years ago. Because it's very nostalgic, especially when some of you guys send me your videos that you've just started making content and stuff, and it's just, I just see myself from back then, and the only thing that has made me, or the most important thing that's made me blow up, I think, recently, I should say, is just time. I've given myself lots of time to learn the market and figure out how to be different and how to gather success in a market like DBD that's so oversaturated. Thank you for watching, though. I will see you all very soon.